There we go. How are you doing tonight, Melissa?
Absolutely fabulous.
Excellent. Already seen a couple of folks in here. Saw Chris, one of the guys down in my Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska area. Saw RP in here. Good evening, guys. Saw Bradley just post up in here. What's going on, Bradley? How are you doing tonight? Hope everybody is getting ready for finals this weekend at various locations throughout the nation. Marcus,
Good to know one more back home.
you know, we can run your bike through lanes anytime you want to, Marcus. You know, just throw a Bluetooth speaker on it if that's all you got.
Good evening.
Oh, Jimmy P in the house. Watch out. Jimmy, how are you doing tonight? Hope everything is well for you and Mama down there. You and Sonia getting ready for the weekend down in Springfield.
Want to take a few minutes to go over these finals locations because I know we've got quite a few this year.
I will. Let me get back out to the site for it here because I was looking at something during the intro. Well, I'll start out with the one that I know of for certain, and that's mine. I've got a location in T, South Dakota. It's about 5 miles south of Sioux Falls, so right off the interstate. We've got that location. We also have a location that was recently changed. It is in for the Tennessee area, Eastern Tennessee. It is now at the English Mountain Dragway outside of Newport. That is going to be, as I'm looking at a map here, a little southeast of Newport, Tennessee. So any of you folks, Eastern Tennessee, this is going to be between Knoxville and Johnson City. So Western North Carolina, Western, Northwestern South Carolina, even Atlanta area. If you're traveling up there, that location has changed. There was some damage from hurricane that came through here earlier this week at the original location. But we had Speedy put out something last night. We put something out, Billy put something out last night about a new location just south of Newport, Tennessee for us for that location. Again, that is going to be in English Mountain Dragway out there. So please note that location change. Jimmy and Sonia have a location in Springfield, Missouri for us this weekend. We've got Mobile, Alabama. Excuse me, that's their Friday night show. We still have a Friday night show before this as well. That.
I'm sorry.
I keep forgetting about that because there's always that Friday night show right before finals, it seems. But UAF is actually going to have a Friday night show. So you honestly, if you still need a show, get down to UAF. They'll help you out. Otherwise, Jim and Belle are going to have their show up at Crystal Motor Speedway. That one, Crystal, Michigan. We've got a couple others still. Pop-Tart is going to be in Russellville, Kentucky this weekend. We've got Fayetteville, North Carolina. Now, if that one is, I guess I'm going to call it questionable still because I've seen some chatter online about making sure that that location is still available for us. I hope that it still is. Hope we can update. If not, keep tuned to the basewars.org website and keep clicking that events link. We'll give you the latest and greatest info. Richard has something out in the West Coast area. His is going to be at the Enviro Pros out there. That is in Bloomington, California. We've got the Greater Alabama Shakedown at the Box Shop. Excuse me. That location is in Montgomery, Alabama. That is not the only one in Alabama this weekend. We've got one down on the Gulf Coast as well for everybody. So if you travel up north, you can hit the Gulf Coast area and take care of that as well. That one is going to be in Fairhope, Alabama. So we've got, what is that, 7, 8, 9 locations for finals this weekend. Should be some excellent time for everybody.
All right. Did you see this comment? I couldn't help but bust out laughing. One of the loudest,
Yeah.
talking about you stay home for finals.
I will make sure to only drive about 9 miles to my finals for you, Craig. Do I have to bring a car? No, you can bring your bike. You can bring your truck. You should bring a vehicle unless you want to walk. Or if you want to bring your power wheels, that would be perfectly fine. We do have some power wheels that qualified, and those are the ones I'm always interested in seeing. That, and again, I kind of like the Port Wars. I kind of like a couple others as well. So it'll be fun regardless.
God, I just hope everybody's ready. All right. And yes, we do have the World Finals. Yep.
Yeah, if it's going to be your first one, Jeremy, this is the time and place to ask the questions because I'm guessing Saturday your local judge is going to be a little on the busy side and they might not want to answer the same question 4 or 5 times. So if you got a question, ask it now. What's for dinner on Saturday night? Chris, the dinner for me, hot dogs and brats, because that's going to be what I'm going to have at the show. So if they're hot dogs and brats for me. Dustin,
Which show is
all
he going to? What show are you going to, sir?
yeah, one of them I know does have a entrance fee.
Good evening. I hope Miss Bella is doing well tonight.
Evening, Michael. Oh yeah, Jimmy, you got another show that night as well. El Centenario, I don't believe Richard's show has a an entry going into it. Let me take a quick peek here for you. One
Thank you,
second.
sir. We'll look it up. Oh,
I'm not seeing anything as far as a entry fee for it. So I don't believe there will be one out there for Richard.
all right, y'all. Miss Bella has a case of nerves going into finals. So if everybody could just send good vibes her way, that would be great. All right. How is Demo Wars going to be? That is a Greg question. Let me message Greg and ask him.
Very true there, Dustin. I got high hopes for Bella, not to take away anything from Addison or Evelyn and the Kelly family doing the Power Wheels as well with Bella. I'm anticipating some pretty high numbers, some that would make the stoutest of competitors blush a little bit because to see what I've seen with them on the Power Wheel side for the numbers all year, they've been pretty cool with all of it. Music restrictions as far as what, we don't want any swearing because there's kids at these, so be mindful of your audience. But
Please.
otherwise, music, yeah, it can't be anything outside of the frequency range for it. If you're playing something in Hurricane, for example, our Hurricane classes are 0 to 19 hertz, so it's got to peak between 0 and 19. If you're playing in the Twister class, it's got to peak currently between 40 and 60. So yeah, there are restrictions, but those will change next year.
And Jeremy, just so you know, I've messaged Greg to ask him how Demo Wars is going to run this year. So I'll get back with you as soon as I can. But I believe a double elimination is how they've been running it. Yay! Well, I always welcome you into a new class. And now that the new guidebook is out, everybody can go and get them a copy, read up on it.
Definitely.
We need 7 shows in the same class this year. That doesn't mean you can come run 20 different classes and be qualified for finals. This year it was 5 shows in the same class. Next year it will be 7. And there should not be any problem with anybody making finals because our judges are working. Please know that they are having more shows than ever. 7 shows is not going to be hard to get.
And like Jimmy just said in here, and I put up here, extreme vehicles. I got a new score sheet right here in front of me. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 classes specifically for extreme vehicles. If you're an extreme vehicle, you got to compete in the pro class category this year. So that is explained fully in the guidebook. So check out the guidebook. And for what reason, what do you need to find the reason for, David? I'll tell you right now, if you need a reason for something.
Yep.
For 7 shows, hey, 7 shows true competitiveness, shows willingness to travel sometimes, which, I can't have a show in everybody's backyard, unfortunately. So the ones that call me first, those are the shows I'm going to do and book out first. Bradley, where is the guidebook? Well, see that thing scrolling along down here on the bottom? Check out the basewars.org website. And the guidebook is listed under guidebook. Both of them are there actually right now, the 24 and 25 guidebook. So that is where
Yay.
It is going to be.
All right. He is talking about his 13-year-old daughter who she pulled up in a Slam mini truck and sat there and won not only a first, but a first and a second. Her first time out. Little girl did amazing.
Well, props to Kaylee there. Excellent.
Oh, her daddy brought her in the baddest little truck I've seen in a while. Loved it. It was so great to see him pull up.
Excellent to see that.
I would hope nobody's upset about 7 shows because that means, they didn't want to go see their base force judge. I haven't heard anybody be upset about it because if you're a real competitor, you want to be out there anyway.
Guys are going to have to travel this year. That's, Chris, what I did here last time I saw you on Saturday a couple weeks ago or Sunday a couple weeks ago. I did my 1,000 miles that weekend. Did 960. So, yeah, judges have to travel more so than you guys do. And to be honest, I probably don't make anything at most of the shows that I go to because of the travel. I've got to go 300 miles on some of them. And if I'm going that far one way, that's 600 in a weekend. I don't know too many competitors that drive that far in a weekend for one show, let alone 1,000 for 2 or 3.
That's like
there are
saying,
but
His daughter now works weekends. All right. On the weekend, she's
Mhm.
off. More than likely, you can find 2 shows in one weekend. We have so many judges that are close together. You can find some shows.
Oh yeah.
Hit two in one weekend.
Non-extreme only. That's what I would say as well, Jeremiah. You are always welcome here.
Oh, we know you're not complaining. We know how much you love going to shows.
Oh yeah. And the fun part about it is as well is the way that most of us try and do them. We've hopefully got kind of a I don't want to say a hometown shop or a shop that's within 15 or 20 miles that maybe we're able to do something like I am. I have a shop that's about 7, 8 miles south of where I live. My buddy Phil and we have a show there the third Friday night. I ran 7 shows there this year out of I think I ran 20 or 21 shows this year. And it was nice to be able to do that. It helped me pay rent at the shop. It helped me get some extra business at the shop. And it brought a lot of people together on Friday nights that may not see each other except at some of the faraway shows as well. So it's a good thing to have more shows. And it's not just, some of you competitors might think it's a money grab out there. It's not a money grab. We're looking at an extra, let's see, $60 from you for 2 extra shows, 2 extra class entries. And I'll even throw in the $5 for the membership increase from 25 to 30 this year. So for $65, please, that's $1 a week through an entire year. That's not a lot of extra money. Yeah, you're going to have to throw in a little bit of food, a little bit of gas, but we're telling you now. Oh, Jeremiah, if it only was all about that. If it was all about that, I'd have a better haircut and I wouldn't be looking as gray as I do. And I'd have a 180 build as well. Yes, that's true.
That's
We'd
why I
all,
didn't mind highlighting these comments.
I'd be out there. I'd be part of Sioux Falls style instead of Vegas style. But there's no style here. We're so redneck up here, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, Jimmy's comment as well, and that Jimmy, you, me, we'd all
Yeah,
have
you do,
trailers.
man.
Actually, I'd have I don't know if I'd necessarily have a trailer. I might have a small, 25-foot mini Winnie or something to drive around in and just do it that way. But yeah, exactly. Jeremiah, I just clicked it. Melissa, get off my. We're gonna have this little thing again. That is true. We're a bunch of rednecks up here. You should see some of the things that I've seen for install quality, and things run through the hood, through the wiper cowl,
I
in through
am
the
seeing
mirrors.
a better quality of install out west than I was seeing.
I would
I
like
am
to
I
see.
am quite impressed. These guys out here can wire really good. I'm kind of impressed with them.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
like to see a better quality of install from myself as well. Those of you that have seen my Festiva, I know Jimmy has. Um, my wire in it, I drilled 2 holes one night. I ran power and ground back, put grommets in them, and they've been sitting in there that way for about 7 years. I wish I would have done it differently now after looking at it, but it works and it gets the job done.
Well, my thing
And
about the clean wiring is you can always find what the problem is. So much
yep.
easier if it's just done. And bonus points for labeling it.
Oh yeah. If you've got, well, I got to turn my chair the other way. If you've got something like this particular install here where I can see green, pink,
Mhm.
green, pink, green, pink, and I'm not picking on the installer or the other person whose install it may be, um, you can tell what it looks like. You can see that it's wet, that it's at least color coded, so I can tell power from ground. And I see the heat shrink on it. I hope that's kind of some tech flex because that's kind of what it looks
It
like.
is.
And I can see it. And that does actually help me out in the lanes as well. Because if I start looking at your wire and I see two black leads coming into an amp or two red leads coming into an amp, not necessarily because we were lazy or cheap and didn't have two different wire colors, but that's what we had laying around. It works, but it makes troubleshooting a lot easier if you've got something that's there, especially if you're having problems in the lanes, because there's nothing worse than having problems in the lanes and having three people try and help you and they don't know what your wires are because you're all
Exactly.
running red or black or blue or green or white or whatever.
You know, Mr. Jimmy, I wish I had a nice build. Even Crossfire called his build nice.
Yep.
Like, just blew me away how much they enjoyed having it. All
Dustin, your
right.
build is pretty loud.
Membership
Can you
at the
record?
absolutely you can just get
I'm
with your
sure they
judge.
have.
But there is one thing. If you purchase it online, please fill out the link we send y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We need that. We need that bad.
Yeah, that's the one thing that is probably keeping a few people from competing right now, unfortunately. And once you purchase it, Chris, just let me know. I will collect the $30 from you, or Jimmy will, depending on when you do it and who your judge is at the show. We've got to assume it's going to be one of the two of us. But give us the $30 at the show, and I will, on your sheet, because it's there, it says membership right there, $30. I'll circle it, I'll put a line through it or something like that. So, yeah, just remind me at the end of the show that you sent in the money or you gave me the money for it. I'll make a note in my notes and Billy will get the updated information. Make sure, as Melissa said, that you fill in the form that we send you because that form gets processed within about a day. Billy is then able to generate your number if it's not a renewal. If it's a renewal, I'll send Billy a message and I'll say, hey, I had Chris or I had Jason or I had Dustin give me 30, 60, or $90 for the three of you at this show, and they are renewing their memberships. So we will be able to track that stuff for you guys that
That's
way.
something I ran into last year. They had their membership numbers, but
Mm-hmm.
they had paid their membership. Get
Oh,
it
yeah.
done. It's very simple. Just get it done at the beginning of the season, please.
Yes,
I
please.
harp on that a lot, but it makes it so much easier for the competitors to make it all the way through their season and everything to track perfectly. Y'all take running lanes serious, so we need to take your membership serious. Okay.
Yep. And speaking of how serious it is, I am currently looking at the spreadsheet right now. I have 2,400 entries where I do have a valid member number. I have another unfortunate amount of people, about 100, where myself or Melissa or Jimmy or let's see, Eric and Tina and James, Pop Tart, Richard, Greg, Wes. I got basically every other judge out there, including Billy, who's put down new or needs membership or new member or some form of that after their name. And if we don't have a number for you listed on the member numbers, that's the same thing that you can find on the basewars.org website. There is a link right there on the top that says members. If you don't see your name there, it's because you didn't fill out the form. We're gladly going to take your money.
Good evening, sir. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Howdy, what's going on?
Thank you for coming in tonight, sir.
I just updated your name, in fact, on one of my on one of the spreadsheets earlier this morning, sir. Got you all taken care of.
All right. So really, we don't have that many guideline changes for next year.
Nope.
And we may wait and give y'all a week to read the handbook and let y'all ask some questions next week. Sure, everybody has some, but really, there wasn't that many changes. Things have been working, and they've been working well.
Mm-hmm.
Just need to move some extremes over, give them some places to play, because, Lord, this year, more extremes come out than I have seen in the last 5 years. Kind of impressed with these big builds coming out.
Jeremiah, believe me, I would like to sometimes. Time to rebuild that right away on Saturday between shows. You know, some of us are having a show right away afterward or during. When does the new year start? Jason, that is a fantastic question. It literally starts at midnight on Saturday. And I don't
Some
mean
of these
midnight
people are going to be
Saturday, I
lucky
mean
enough
midnight,
to get.
12:01 a.m. Saturday morning.
A lot of them are going to be lucky enough to get to run finals, take a small break, and then get their first show of the season done.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I think Jimmy said he has back-to-back shows.
Yep. Jimmy is having a show. I'm having a show. There, Richard is doing something afterward. I believe Tina is doing something afterward. I believe Brandon is doing something as well. So Saturday, you can do finals, and immediately afterward, you know, take a half-hour break for dinner or whatever, and come back to that same location, or don't leave, pack a lunch, and you know, that's the start of the new season right then and there as well. Yep, Pop Tarts is in Russellville, Kentucky this weekend, Dustin.
Do we have any more Sunday shows?
We don't have anything on Sunday that I remember other than Pop Tarts. Let me take a quick peek one more time, though, here. His is just on Sunday, and that is going to be the Tournament of Champions that he's got it listed as. That is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that is going to be in the arena.
Oh, good
That's
job.
the Logan County Fair, or Logan County, Kentucky Fairgrounds right there. So same place as finals from Saturday.
Yeah, that may happen. Richard will alert you to whatever you need to be doing. He is up on his rule book and ready. But, yep, some of the extremes will learn some new classes.
Yep.
All right. right, here's your question.
Want to cut down in front of it says in front of the OEM seats. Okay, so your OEMs to cut down for a port. So your port is in front of the seat. That's the way I'm reading it. That means I get to put the mic anywhere, and I'm going to tell you where to put it, because that has been explained several times in the past. However, are you talking to clear a port behind the seat?
I'm kind
I
of
guess I'm not
wondering if he's
understanding the
about
question
like just
correctly here,
taking the
Bradley.
seat out. Bradley, just give me a call after the show.
Yeah.
We can discuss this. I can figure out whatever you're needing, hon. All right.
Yeah,
Now,
most of the
see,
stuff we have,
that's
it
a good
hasn't really
competitor.
changed. Most of what we had, like I just said, hasn't really changed. Mike's in front of the seat, Mike on the glass if you want to, but basically in front of the seat, kick panel area. And I'm not picky. I'll do passenger or driver side kick. Should probably test in both, because every once in a while, might find out that the driver side is louder.
Yeah, it took
It
me
does happen.
about 6 months competing with my truck to figure out, oh, I've been metering on the wrong side this whole time.
Half a dB is the difference between first place and sixth or seventh in some places. Yes, you did, Chris. Chris
Okay.
pulled out a 150, barely a 150, and then significantly higher than that because he put it in the driver's side. So yeah.
Okay, where do we find a list of amps that bump somebody up a class? Would you like to take this one, sir?
Yes, I will. Where do you find the list? Well, technically there is no list. We go by the manufacturer's rated output. I don't care what it does on a dyno. I don't care what you clamp. We go by the rated manufacturer's output. So if your manufacturer is the ABC Corporation and they make a 3,000 watt amp and they say it's 3,000 watts at 1 ohm, it's 3,000 watts. If the XYZ company then makes a 3,000 watt amp, but their website says that it's 3001, sorry, it's 3001. You go up one class. But that's all the farther we're going to move you up is one class because of
You're
that amp.
never going to get moved up more than one class, no matter how much power you want to run.
Exactly. As Billy has said, as I have said, as
And
Melissa,
if
all of us hosts on these shows, if you want to put 50,000 watts to a pair of 12s, you
do
would
that,
normally be in the stealth or bandit class. Per the rules on here, we're only moving you up to bandit or from bandit to assassin and from stealth to boss. We're not moving you up into a 50,000 watt class. And yeah, some amps are very underrated. Some are not even close to being what they should be rated.
okay. He wants to know about the Orion 3K. You just clamp that amp. That's all. That is all we require. Just put it on a clamp. Let us see what it's
Yep.
doing. No big deal. None at all. I
We've
haven't
had
had
that
to
discussion in the
see them
past,
on a clamp yet.
and that particular amp, like Melissa just said, it is what it is. It's a great amp. It's a 3,000 watt amplifier, according to them. We know that it can do a lot more. We're going to hold you to 3,000 watts on it, though, and we're going to clamp it. I won't get into specifics of why, but if you know anything about amplifiers, how they're made, what they look like on the inside, that should tell you all the more that you need to know. They're
Exactly.
fantastic amps. I'm not going to take anything away from them. If I didn't use the brand that I use now, I'd probably use Orion. I think a lot of judges would probably use Orion, especially in low power.
I'm excited to see some red up in my build soon. Yes, it can.
Yep. There's a lot of amps that can on dyno. Very few that'll be able to do it in the real world, but on a dyno, a lot of them can. Real world, you better have more than just the right electrical, because it's going to matter exactly what your amps will do.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about finals or anything before we get out of here tonight? Good evening, Joe.
How you doing?
Joe come to the shakedown and demoed all day long. I was so proud of him. He was the only one I had demoing over there. Car just a flexing. Everybody else was serious about competing and just turned it off. Nope, he's gonna go play. We just had a small build. Yeah, just to blow through. No big deal. Is Africa running finals as well? Have they had enough people compete to qualify?
There are brand new members in Africa that do have enough shows, but they just got their memberships. So, courtesy of the rules, no, Africa will not be running finals as of right now.
Okay.
Billy talked about that, I believe, a week or two ago. Next year, I'd watch out. Africa is taking over some of the top 10 lists pretty heavily.
I saw that. All right. How many runs are allowed for finals? This depends on your judge.
How many people are going to be at your particular finals? If you only got 4 people there, take 4, 5, 10, 15. If you got 15 people there, you might be allowed 2 or 3, and that's it.
And my suggestion would be put it all out there in the beginning and go with that. Because, time's a little constraint at finals. Things get crazy.
Eric?
You don't get as many runs. So be cautious about put it out there.
Yeah. And Jeremiah,
I am sure you will get as many runs as you need, sweetheart.
As I have been very happy to say, for next year, if Africa gets in on the final stuff, I'm hoping we're going to be able to run them at the same time. But the weird thing is depending on where we are here in the U.S., East Coast versus West Coast even, we're anywhere from 7 to 12 hours behind what Africa is. So I don't know how they might be able to keep their scores quiet, but we'll figure out a way to do it. I know Billy is kind of working on it. So,
all right, new question. In the leash blast, are you disqualified if you go over on your power runs?
That's up to the judge.
I just make my guys rerun it.
I would say you got to rerun it, but I'm not going to give you all day to hit 4,989 watts or something like that either.
No. Just be
If you can't
courteous.
hit it after 5 or 6 shows and
But yeah,
testing all year,
I'm gonna make
you
them
got to be able to
rerun.
figure it out. Jason, you do the same.
Yep. I don't consider it a legal run if they go over. So, yep, you got to give me a correct score.
Yeah.
You got to do what you told me you were going to do to start with. Keep it under 5K. I've never disqualified anybody for anything. Never. I will make you
Close.
rerun.
Yeah, I've gotten close, but that's more a question. Jack, I believe you're with Tony or with Brandon. That's going to be a question for them. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I'd make you rerun it. And not to be cruel, but do a better job with just how much you tweak everything, because it is just a matter of a little bit more. And if you accidentally sneeze or something at you and something like that, yeah, try not to do that. That's
Know what your system
it's
does.
going to happen though, sooner or later. So, and also, if you have your phone that you're using for your source, which I've got to question why you're doing that. Make sure you turn off your texting and your calls and stuff, because one of the worst things that can happen is you're at finals and you get a call from your spouse asking you, hey, how's everything going? That's not always a good thing.
No.
And it does happen.
Good
Jamie, how are
evening.
you doing, sir?
Big old Ryan build. We were just discussing Ryan.
Green
Yeah.
and red, the Hulk will be up at my location on Saturday. I am having fun with a few people coming up to mine, and Jamie's one of them. Some of my guys haven't seen Jamie's build before, so they will
Oh,
be in
that's
for a
going to be
treat.
so fun.
They will definitely be in for a treat with that. And yeah, exactly, Jack. Put on that. Actually, airplane mode would be even better than do not disturb. But yeah, because airplane, it doesn't ring through. Do not disturb, it still might give you a notification message. But if you're using your phone because of Bluetooth or auxiliary, consider getting a small USB of a one, even just a 1 or a 2 gigabyte USB stick. That's more than enough for a couple of sweeps, tones of every frequency that you would need up to 53 hertz for us. And it's going to have more than enough room for probably 15 or 20 songs as well. You don't need to go out and buy a massive, I say massive, but you don't need to go out and buy a bigger USB stick.
Consider running a smaller one. They load faster in the lanes.
Yep.
I don't want to be sitting there half the day while your stick's loading up. It slows things down. Smaller USBs do a lot better.
If you're running a 64 or larger and you're waiting 30 or 40 seconds for that to load up everything, and then I gotta hit this button 8 times because it's in my 8th folder to look at something, that's a lot of time. So yeah, make a few
whenever
Yep.
Next show, just hook up USB to my computer. They're on there. I have them ready for y'all.
If that doesn't work,
got one of those too.
USB with USB. Oh shit, I got like 5 of these. This one's an 8 terabyte. I got two others over here that are 12 I got about 60 terabytes of data sitting in front of me. So I got pretty much everything that's ever been released for test tones and things like that. So if people need stuff, let me know Saturday. I'll make you something, but I'm not cheap.
Joe, I'll bring you one to Abilene. Because that is one thing that I do have a pet peeve about. People using phones in the lanes. Just don't.
Quality is par at best. And I'd almost guarantee to you that if you don't use a phone, if you actually use a USB, your scores are probably going to go up. And if you actually do have a CD player that is on either in a dash in your smaller builds like your Stealth or Bandit, leave the CD player in the dash. It'll play it. It does not skip if it's installed properly at 150, 155, even up to 160. Mine does not skip. If it does skip, figure out a way to make it more secure in your dash. Make sure your dash isn't necessarily shaken. And, there's nothing against necessarily reinforcing your dash, but depends what you're doing with it. Other
Frankie,
orgs may
grab
have a
one
rule
at the
against it.
show. You'll be at Abilene too, so I'll go ahead and make some for y'all.
I can do that for you, Chris. Let me know what you're looking for. I'll bring my drives on Saturday. But yeah, with your dash, if it's not going to skip in the dash, then play it in the dash. If it does start skipping, look into making an umbilical for it and run it out of the back of your vehicle. It doesn't take much to run an umbilical cord for your build. And in some other orgs, you actually have to when you get above a certain dB limit. They don't want you in the vehicle. They won't allow you in the vehicle. So consider it. You've already got RCAs in the vehicle, so run something there. You need power ground ignition and a remote turn on. So power ground ignition remote. Well, that's 4 wires, just like your 4 wires for your brake trailer. Hey, right there. Go to your Napa, your O'Reilly's, your AutoZone, in my case up here, my Sturdivance, or whatever you might have, and pick up some brake trailer wiring and get it. Put it in. Use that for your power ground ignition and remote. That's all you need.
Yeah, let's discuss this. At finals, have your stuff ready. Your judges are already doing enough with inspections and everything that needs to be done for finals. They do a lot more than y'all see. So please, when you bring your vehicle up, have it ready.
Yep.
Yay.
Get Jimmy on there really quick. Jimmy, have a good one, sir. Hope you have a good time with you and Sonia on Saturday. And Eric,
Absolutely.
bring your laptop.
Good luck with finals, Jimmy.
Yeah. Have everything ready to go. I am doing something a little weird. All my classes are going to be, or all my competitors, going to have a little meeting at my show at 10:30 on Saturday morning. They will draw for their time frame out of a hat, so they will know exactly when they need to be ready to go.
Oh, it would be my luck I'd draw the last one of the day and have anxiety all day
Well,
long.
the good thing is I've already got number one taken care of. And no, number one is not me, or well, it's someone I know pretty well that I met earlier this year. And Jamie definitely knows him because it's Jamie's brother. Jody Biodrowski is going to run first at my show.
Okay.
He needs to get back down to the Lincoln area because he is also a chef caterer and he has to feed some people later on Saturday night. So Jody has volunteered to run first. So when you get to my show, someone will actually be there. And yeah, Chris, you know him. I know him. Eric might know him from other shows. A couple other people know him, obviously. But that's when you're going to run. And it's not, that's when you're going to run all your classes. If you qualify, I'm going to pick on the creator here for a second, Chris. Chris qualifies in chaos and unleashed wall. Chris is going to draw 2 time frames. One is going to be at, say, 11:30. The other one won't be until 2:10. You're going to get 10 minutes. You can run your sweep and make your run. And when you're done, the next person comes up, and then the next person, and the next person. And at the end of the day, hopefully, I'm going to have about an hour or 2 hours free for anyone to look at the leaderboard and figure out, okay, can I make it up to 3rd place or 4th place or top 5, or maybe I'm already number 2. Can I beat that number 1 person? I hope they can, because we're going to have people there all day being ready to poke, push, prod, pull, open doors, close doors on every class we do, except old school, because you can't do that. That's sealed. But we'll have them ready there to push or whatever. So hopefully it'll happen for a few people that we'll be able to see some big scores, if not, possibly even some world records.
All right. One more thing before we get off here tonight. I've heard a lot of people say that they didn't think they were good enough to go to finals. They didn't think they would do well enough. Okay, well, here's the thing. You never know what's going to show up at finals or what's going to break at finals. It might be your magic day. Go and compete. I've heard a bunch of people say, I'm just not going to go because I'm not competitive. Who knows?
You're not competitive.
Everybody's pushing so hard that everybody ahead of you could break their vehicle and you just magically whip in there. You never know. It's all about, skills and luck. And I see a lot of luck at finals. All
Chris,
right.
I'm not even going to. Yes, you can. Maybe not on mine, but yeah. And Eric, to yours, unfortunately, no. You had 3 in a lot of them, but then the car broke. And yeah, that is exactly the way that you have to approach finals, because not everybody on the list is qualified. And I kind of shared some of that information with the judges a while back. I kind of like talking about the list and finding these fun little things about them. I went through from Assassin to Cyclone Wall and found that through just those 10 or 12 classes that we have, we would have had 120 people on the list, because there's 10 per class. Out of those 120, like 48 of them, so 40 some odd percent, were not members. And that included the number 1 or number 2 person on a couple of those lists. Now, that was a month or a month and a half ago. But a lot of people that are on that top 10 list, they're not members, or they may not have 5 shows. Now, I'm not going to tell you if they do or don't. I will tell you what you have, but I'm not going to tell you if Chris has the shows, or if Joe has the shows, or if Melissa has the shows, or if Stacy has the shows, or whoever. I'm going to tell you what you have.
Well, if they're interested, I didn't qualify for finals because I didn't stay in the same class that I was supposed to. I did a little class skipping and trying different things. And I did the number one mistake. I did not qualify because I tried too many classes and didn't focus myself.
Did you write it down?
Yes, I did. And
I
that,
had to
and
do that.
I kind of forget to run a lot. So I didn't even qualify this
Perfect,
year.
Eric. I will gladly take the assistance, Eric. You know that every time, man.
All right. Anybody got anything else before we get out of here for the night? Because I am absolutely starving.
Frozen right now. I'm frozen too. Oh, there we go. Maybe not. You froze up for a second, then I completely froze.
All right. Well, I don't see any more questions. I think they know what they're supposed to be doing at finals now.
I hope they do. I hope everybody has a safe trip this weekend. Someone else put that up there a little earlier on. I want to say, was it Bradley put it up there? Someone else put it up there earlier on that said, be safe this weekend. I will add to be safe, be prepared, Boy Scout motto, and be loud. There we are from Dustin. Thank you, Dustin. We will definitely try and be loud, safe, and prepared this weekend for everything. Hopefully, everybody has a fantastic time. Looks like pretty decent weather for most of our locations. I know I'm going to be about low to mid 80s, but no wind or anything, so it should be a good time.
Absolutely. I would like to wish everybody good luck. And I will pray for you and your equipment. Go win for us. And on that note, we will see y'all next Wednesday.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.